Well, not the most exciting Dutch Grand Prix, but obviously an absolute smashing from Lando Norris to Max Verstappen. I do have a few points written down on my phone, not heaps, but if you're interested in what my thoughts are, then definitely keep watching. For those of you new to my channel, my name is Martin and I started racing when I was 12. In the sim world, I've raced and beaten some of the best drivers in Australia. I worked as a driver and performance engineer in Formula 3 and I developed my own race strategy simulation software for Formula 1. I raced in KZ2 at the highest level and got pole position in my first ever race. I specialize in the open formula category and now have my own course and website where I can share my 20 plus years of driving experience with you, which I'll put a link to in the description below. So the first thing to note that we saw here was an absolute smashing from Lando to Max and McLaren against Red Bull. And the thing that I wanted to call out here, what it highlights, is that on tracks with a lot of long corners, which Netherlands has 6 of, as we mentioned in the previous video in qualifying, you've got 4 constant radius, a decreasing radius, and an increasing radius. Well, these sort of smashings are possible because you spend a lot more time in a long corner than you do in any other corner. And so if Max is losing time in these long corners, well, these long corners are very long and they go on for a long time and you're losing a lot of lap time therefore. So if the car's efficient in long corners, you can get through there quicker, you can look after your tires and then you can get through there quicker. And as you get through quicker, you look after your tires and it just kind of snowballs thereafter. Whereas what Max was doing was kind of just overheating those fronts and then spending more time in those long corners, which overheats them even more and then it snowballs the other way. So, yeah, a great drive there from Lando to look after those tires and keep a good pace. Now, a few things that I've got written down with regards to racecraft. The first one is with regards to Lando's start. Now, I'm just going to bring up the whiteboard here and just show you what I'm talking about because I was very surprised to see the way Lando lined up on the grid as compared to Max. There was absolutely no intention to defend the lead. And if you think back to like the late 90s with Hakkinen and Schumacher would always angle his car across to Mika and say, no, if you're going to pass me, I'm going to take the inside first and you're going to have to go around me. And there was none of that with Lando. So as soon as they lined up on the grid with Lando and Max, I kind of half knew that it was game over from that point onwards because Lando's intention to defend the lead was not there. So let's just bring that up on the whiteboard and have a look at that for a second. All right, so I'm going to draw like a pole position grid slot here. This is Lando and a P2 here. This is Max. Now, what I was expecting to see was instead of Lando's car being placed, centrally located in the box, I would have expected the car to be angled across this way. And it's perfectly legal, again, as long as your tire doesn't go over this line here. That way you can shoot across and get to the inside. And what that does then, as soon as Max goes straight, your car is here and Max then has to go towards the outside into turn 1. So it's a lot stronger position to be in. And to capitalize and take advantage of that pole position, you want to use it and trade it for the inside. You're going to say, I'm going to trade my P1 for the inside, which is more valuable. And that's something that Lando didn't do and had no intentions to do, in addition to making a poor start. So that's the negatives or bad news out of the way. Obviously, he's made up for it with sheer pace and sheer performance. So I thought I'd call that out as being something with regards to racecraft that Lando could certainly have done better. Now, with regards to Max's racecraft, once he was in the lead, I was also very surprised to see him not defend at all. Again, very uncharacteristic from Max and Lando and Lewis and what we've seen this weekend in some of the driving. So if we just draw turn 1 here, so it kind of goes like that. And we had Max over here. And then we had Lando, the attacking car, behind. And Max just gave Lando the free run up the inside. There was no pulling across and making Lando go for the outside. There was literally no defense whatsoever. I think Max was kind of resigned to the fact that the McLaren was a quicker car and that was the way it was going to be. But, why not? Why wouldn't Max have pulled across to the inside, ask Lando the question, are you going to go around me or not? Probably Lando would have, and I suspect that may have been why. But you've always got to ask the question because you just never know. Like, what if Lando locks a brake and goes straight on into the wall or into the gravel? Like, you still these points are still worth fighting for. And it just goes to show Max was human, and he just kind of said, "Yeah, that car's too quick today," and that's it. But I think that Max should have defended the inside and asked the question of Lando, "Are you going to drive around me or not?" So that's the second thing. So a little bit of racecraft from Max, a little bit of starts from Lando, the tyre management and the gap that Lando could pull in a track full of long corners. Obviously, just a couple of other call outs. Leclerc, amazing job from P6 to P3. And Hamilton, another amazing job from, I think, P15 to P8, something like that. So those are the other two call outs that I wanted to make. Again, it wasn't the most stellar race, so there's not too much to talk about other than those things. So I hope we have a better, more exciting race next time and more to talk about there. Cheers.